What is up, my nerd familia, and welcome back to another episode of Games y Mas, the podcast where we're talking about all things board games, video games, and a little bit of pop culture. On today's episode, we are going to be doing another top shelf or yard sale segment here. We're going to be looking at Flamecraft. I'm very excited. It's a fun game, a one to five player game, and I would say maybe it's like a I don't have Amanda. If you want to help me out here, is this like an engine build type of game or more?
I'd say like a set collection contract fulfillment.
Okay, perfect. Yeah. So, and if you guys don't know what that is, don't worry. We'll go ahead and explain it to you guys as well. And if you guys haven't guessed it yet, we're joined here by Amanda. Amanda, thank you so much for joining us here. Amanda is the host of Sit Down with Amanda, right? The podcast.
Have a seat with Amanda Lee.
Have a seat with Amanda Lee. You can also find her on Instagram as Empty Nest Board Mama. I love that name, by the way. That's a wonderful name. I told my wife, she was like, that is the greatest name ever. And I was like, of course. So it's great. Go give her a follow, guys. I'll leave links below for all your content, Amanda, your podcast, your Instagram channel. Give her a follow, guys. She has some amazing content. She plays a lot of board games, and I love it. I'm here for it. But I'm very excited. I'm very excited to see if we can make a top shelf game here. And for those of you that are listening, thank you so much for listening. I appreciate everyone that's been supportive for the podcast. Your comments, your likes, your shares, your follows. Thank you so much. You can find us on all socials. We're on X, Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, Spotify, wherever you like to listen. So thank you so much for joining us here. I am your host, Vic, here. And so, without further ado, pull up a chair, guys, grab some dice, y acompáñame a jugar. Amanda.
Vic.
Hi. Hey. How are you doing, Amanda? How are you doing on this beautiful day today?
So nice to be here chatting with you. I'm glad I got the time right.
Yes, I know, right? Exactly, yeah.
Time zone thing.
I know, time zone thing stuff, but you know what? I'm glad we got to make it happen, and I'm very excited. I've been looking forward to this episode since I don't know when we scheduled it, but I've been.
Oh gosh. It's like a month ago.
Yeah, I've been pumped though. I've been super pumped. Too. I've been ready. I've been playing some Flamecraft on my own time. I've been building up my experiences because when you mentioned Flamecraft top shelf or yard sale, I'm like, yes, we're doing this and we're doing this now.
Doing it.
And so I'm very excited here. But before we get into the whole podcast episode of Flamecraft, we're gonna do our famous, or I like to think they're famous, but maybe famous to all three of you that listen. But our little icebreaker questions we like to ask here on the pod to first-time guests, and so it's a two-parter question. Feel free if one of those you're not expertise on as well. Don't worry, we can go ahead and skip it. But I'll go ahead and ask it. We haven't asked this question in a while because I've been having recurring guests and it's been solo. So Amanda, what is your favorite board game of all time, ever, all time? I know it's a loaded question, especially being a board gamer. So what I like to do to ease, more heavier board gamers are I'll do like a top three. If you want to do like a top three, or if you got like a top one, we can go top one. So that's the first part. And for those who are listening that are thinking, oh, what considers a board game? Dice games, card games, tabletop games, anything, anything like that. So we'll do that. And then the second question is, what is your favorite video game? I'm a big video gamer, so I'd like to know if you have like a video game. Again, when I say video games, I'm not limiting it only to like an Xbox or PlayStation or PC. I would even include like an arcade game that as a kid maybe you like going as a kid playing an arcade game or anything like that. Anything I can do like that. And so yeah, and again, if you can't narrow it down, again I can do like a top three. I'll let you decide which one you want to tackle first. But go ahead. The floor is yours.
It's tough one. So top three board games. I'm definitely gonna have to go Castles of Burgundy, very high in the top three. I can't do 1, 2, 3, but we'll give you three different ones. Castles of Burgundy, endless replayability, just so much fun. I was so intimidated by it the first time I saw it because it was actually at a convention and somebody had whipped out the brand new, super modified, the really nice castles, the new Awaken Realms model. So I'm a baby board gamer, I should add. I've only been in the hobby, I would say, real active probably the past 2 years. Probably I started playing board games 4 to 5 years ago, but real active in the hobby about 2 years ago. Went to my first convention last year, and that's when I saw Castles of Burgundy at Dice Tower East in Orlando. and just went home, learned it on BGA, kind of clicked through it a few times, had no idea what was going on, watched a few videos, and now I'm like, I probably have 2 to 3 games of Castles of Burgundy happening in rotation on BGA at all times.
Nice.
I don't know why. And I know you did that top shelf or yard sale with the guys from Operation Game Night for Castles of Burgundy. And the whole time I was like, top shelf, top shelf, top shelf.
Yeah. Oh, man, you were...
when it got the yard sale, I was like, nope, we're done.
Unsubscribe to episode. We're no longer friends. Okay.
Castles of Burgundy is definitely up there. I'd say Harmonies. I played a ton of that last year.
Mm-hmm.
And again, another one on BGA. I just love the artwork. I love the simplicity of, the basic, lay some tiles. And again, a contract fulfillment type game. But the artwork is what really sold me on that one.
Mm-hmm.
And then, I can't think of like all-time top 3, but I'll say one that I am like absolutely obsessed with right now is Let's Go to Japan. I am having so much fun with that. Basically, you are planning a 6-day trip to Japan. There's different things that you can do, different activities, and you're planning, laying down cards for these 6 days. It's like 3 activities a day, and you want them to meet certain requirements, not be expensive, not be stressful.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just really enjoying that one right now. So I think it might be in my top 10 for a while at least. But that's what I'll go with right now.
Okay, interesting. Yeah, I love those selections you had. I've never heard of Let's Go to Japan. I'm very curious now. I want to play. I need to check that out. It's funny because like my wife and I are trying to plan a trip to Japan, so I'm like, we should probably play this board game so we can get a little taste of how to play the game, or get a little taste
right
of how
here.
To,
but it's holy gosh.
Oh no, go ahead. Yeah, go ahead. Pull it after you. I love to see this. Oh snap! It's a big box game. Okay,
it's a big one. This is the Kickstarter edition, and it has these gorgeous like Japanese bowls in here that you can use. Wow. So, but yeah, it's a lot of fun. Okay. So see if we can. Oops.
Nice, yeah. For those listening, she's pulling out the box. She's showing us the box of Let's Go to Japan. Interesting.
So here's the player, and then you're laying these different cards for the different activities that you do each day. And
nice. Let's go to Japan.
Let's go to Japan. It's designed by Josh Wood and published by AEG.
Oh, okay, nice. Yeah, definitely gonna have to add that to my list to get because I would love to get that one, and then we could do an episode after that. We could talk.
There we go.
There it is.
Well, definitely, I'll talk about that one for sure.
Oh, let's go. Okay, so Castle of Burgundy, Harmonies. I love Harmonies, but I'm like, I have a love-hate for like those type of games where it's like a puzzle-esque kind of games where you have to like build. It just frustrates me because I'm just like, I need to do this, but then when other people take pieces, it just like makes me so mad. So I'm just like, no, you ruined my like my little combo.
My gray.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I needed that mountain. Come on, like yeah, it's a fun game for sure. I definitely would play it again. I had one of my buddies showed me it, and like it's a very peaceful game, but it looks like a peaceful game. I should say, sorry.
It can be so stressful, though.
It is. Oh my gosh, man! I was stressing out so much, but then just like, I was like, I need to finish this, and I can't because you took my pieces. Now I'm like, I hate life now. Just like Azul. Azul, it's like I need to finish this, but you took my piece. Like, oh jeez. But I'll play it again for sure. Sure play it. So Harmonies, Castle Burgundy, love Castle Burgundy, and then Let's Go to Japan. Definitely an interesting game that I need to check out for sure. But now I'm curious. Let's see if you got it. Do you have any video games? Any video games fascination that you got, Amanda, or if it's something that you're not much of a big of? I'm very curious to hear what you got.
I'm not a big video game player. Okay. I was when I was younger. I mean, I'm 41, so I was around. I've been around for every system, like the Atari. I think I was about 5 or 6 when that came out. So I've seen them all. Atari to Nintendo. I had one of the first Game Boys, Super Nintendo, all of that. Like I've been through all of them. I would say when I was younger, I used to love playing with my siblings Spyro the Dragon.
Oh, for the PlayStation. Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That
Nice.
was I never knew what I was doing. We were just flying around and
Right.
just yeah. Another one that I always liked when I was probably in my teenage years, older years, was Mortal Kombat.
Mortal Kombat.
I
Okay.
was just a
Okay.
button smasher. Like I never knew what I was doing, but I was like,
Hitting him. Yeah.
and then you'd learn like the one combo. It was like back down, and that was like
Yeah.
the finishing move. And
And you
when
just kept
once,
using, yeah.
yeah, I'd just be the same player all the time with the same move, and that was it.
Yeah, okay, Mortal Kombat and Spyro, yeah. Hey,
Yeah.
great selections for sure. Yeah, I love Spyro. When I was a kid playing Spyro, also I didn't know what I was doing. I was just flying around and shooting my little
I don't know
fireball at
that there
people.
was a point to it. Honestly, I think it was just flying around and hanging out.
Honestly, yeah. To this day, I'll be honest with you. Like, I haven't like fully played that game, so I can't even tell you the storyline. I don't even know what's
Yeah,
going on.
no,
I just
no
know that.
clue.
Yeah, I just all I know is I was just this purple dragon that was flying around and
Mhm.
shooting things. And in Mortal Kombat, I'm the same way too. Like, I like the button mash, and just you know being Scorpion and get over here and just doing all that stuff.
Yep.
And just I love playing Mortal Kombat. It's such a fun game, and hopefully I can get the fatality and do it correctly. Or if you don't
Finish
do it
him.
correctly, yeah, exactly, fatality or something like that. And, or if you try to do a combo and you don't do it and you hit him by accident and you win, you're like, oh come on, I didn't get to do my fatality, and you're like, oh too bad, So Mortal Kombat Spider, okay, cool, awesome. Yeah, great selections, and also with the board games. But there you guys have it, your first hand account from Amanda. Her favorite board games and her favorite video games there. Let us know what your guys' favorite board games and favorite video games are. Is it Spiral? Is it also Mortal Kombat or these board games that she's mentioned? Leave a
What's
comment below.
Spyro
Let us know.
about? Somebody
I know,
tell us.
right? Yeah, let us know what Spiral is about. Yeah, I have no idea what Spiral is about. So give us I want
What's
to see like a whole paragraph in depth in the comments of what the whole lore of Spiral is, because I
hmm
still don't know to this day. So I'd like to be educated. Or send us a link to like a video or something like on YouTube
Yeah.
that will tell us and stuff. But there, we got the icebreaker out of the way. It was good to know your favorite board games. I'm always curious, especially when we get new guests on here, to know their board games and their fascinations. So thank you so much for sharing that for us. And so before we get into the actual Flamecraft, we would also like to know a little bit more about Amanda. We want to know, for those that are listening that don't know, who's this person talking to Vic? Who's Amanda? Who's Empty Boardness Mama? I've never known. Would like to know, Amanda, what is Empty Boardness Mama about? What is the Instagram channel and your podcast about? What led to the creation of board games? Obviously, your fascination with board games is given, and you chose an amazing hobby as well.
Yes.
But yeah, let us know more about the channel, and also shout out the pod. We'll do more plugins towards the end of the podcast. But if you want to
Okay.
do a little introduction and stuff like that, so who is Amanda Lee here?
So Amanda Lee is again 41 years old. I currently live in Florida. I'm
Okay.
originally from Wisconsin, born and raised, and I have a daughter in college who
Okay.
is in her third year at the University of Wisconsin Platteville, studying animal science. She's going to be Dr. Sam when she grows up.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's
And
exciting.
I am married to Mailman Gary. My husband
Oh,
is a
mhm.
mailman, and I
Mailman
also
Gary.
am a postal worker. I work inside. He's the outside guy. I'm the indoor
Okay.
cat.
Nice, nice.
We met through our job,
Okay.
actually on a Facebook uh, group for postal singles, which is funny.
Oh,
But yeah, and
okay.
I'm more the board gamer. He
Mm,
enables me, and he'll
okay.
play. You know, we actually played Flamecraft this morning to
Ah.
brief for getting ready to talk about why it's a top shelf game.
There we go.
And
Okay.
other than board games, I do enjoy like crafts and DIY projects and stuff like that. But definitely, board games is at the forefront of pretty much everything I do right now. Again, like I said earlier, I've been in the hobby about 4 or 5 years, but really dove deep into it the past, I would say, 2 years.
Okay.
And the creation of my channel kind of came from that, just me wanting to find more people um, that were into it as I am. And I
Mm,
have amassed quite a community that I
mm-hmm.
just love on Instagram that I found, and went to 2 conventions last year. Dice Tower East and PAX. And at PAX, I
Mm-hmm.
was lucky enough to meet some of the really great other content creators on Instagram. So that's
Yeah.
been a really fun journey. And that's what also led to the creation of my podcast, which is Have a Seat with Amanda Lee.
Mm-hmm.
And in that, I just bring on somebody new from the community once a week, and like designers, artists, content creators, publishers, things like that, just to get to know them. Because I feel like we, as a community, we all have to support each other, and
Yeah.
there's
For
room for
sure.
everybody at the table. So
For
have a
sure.
seat
Yeah.
and tell me all about yourself is kind of my tagline.
Yeah, I
So
love that. I love that. I
yeah.
mean, I love that title. Yeah, have a seat with Mandalay. That's like so clever and it's so cool. I love it. Yeah, and is this have you had this podcast, or is this kind of a podcast you kind of recently started? Correct?
I
Am I right?
just
Or
started. I've had 3 episodes. So next week
okay,
will be the
nice.
4th.
Yeah, let's go. And are you trying to do like weekly episodes for this one, or whenever you have time, kind of deal?
It was the goal. Originally it was weekly. This week it was a hiatus. Just
Hmm.
everybody. I have a slew of people lined up, but everybody's doing
Yes.
some awesome projects and
Hmm.
getting ready to launch Kickstarters and some really great things.
Hmm.
So timing just didn't work out. But this week I
Right.
will have a fantastic content creator that you know and may or may not have had on the uh,
Oh, all right.
yard
Very cool.
sale or top shelf
Ooh,
recently.
I love the suspense. I love that. I love that. I'm
Yes,
curious
yes,
now. I'm very excited. I'm gonna be on the prowl for that one for sure.
yes.
But for those that are listening, have a seat with Amanda Lee. Go follow her. Go give her some support. Go show her the love. Comment everything you can on there. Subscribe, like, follow her on everything. Do it now. Actually, just do
Thank
it now.
you.
Just pause this episode. Just do it right now because she
Yeah,
needs all the support and
anywhere
love.
you listen to podcasts and YouTube. So
Yes, yes, there you go. I've been following you. I think I'm on episode 2. I think I've just finished episode 1, episode 2. I put you on whenever I'm
thank
working,
you.
and just listening to you yourself. You're great. You're amazing, Amanda, and I'm honored that you're on my podcast. I'm honored.
Oh,
I'm
thank
humbled.
you.
You're a celeb. You're a celeb to me,
No,
Amanda.
no.
You're a big
I
celeb to me. I
invited
love.
myself on.
No, no. You're always welcome. Like I said before we recorded, you're always welcome, Amanda. You can
Thank
always come
you.
whenever you want. If you got a board game you want to talk about that you're like we want like top shelf or yard sell it, let's do it. I'm super
Mhm,
down for it. Thank you so much for sharing that.
mhm.
Your hobby you chose a great hobby.
I did.
And it's the community. I feel like the board game community is very supportive and very like family esque. Like I think it's like very
I agree.
we're not very many in board gaming community. I mean, we're many, but like it seems like we're
Hmm.
very small. We're not like a big
Hmm.
cosplay community or like the video game community and stuff like that. I think board
Right.
gamers have like they're on the little corner here where we're playing with our little card games and stuff like that. But I love getting to meet everybody
Hmm.
and of that nature. But yeah, it's cool, and I love your Instagram channel is awesome. Like I said, you're always posting some fun content. I love all the games you get to post, and you give me ideas of new games that I need to get. And so, as we mentioned earlier in the intro with Let's Go to Japan, you're doing your work. You're doing the work
Yeah.
already with convincing me to get a new board game. But before we even dive any deeper into more board games, let's get into this other board game that we're going to be talking about. Flamecraft here. We're going to be looking,
Flamecraft.
yes, Flamecraft. We're going to be deciding if this game is a top shelf or a yard sale game. Um, and for those that have been listening, or this is your first time listening, of wondering what we're going to be doing here, what we do with Top Shelf or Yard Sales, we look at a board game, we kind of deep into it, not super deep into it, but we got to dive into the mechanics of the game, maybe the components of the game, the design of the game, and we're going to decide if this game is worthy to be on your top shelf. If this is a game that you're going to be showing it, yep, exactly, showing it on your shelf for everyone to see on its splendor and all its glory, or if it's a game that sadly when you take it, you play it once, you decide, I'm just going to tuck it away. It's going to build
Mm,
dust, and eventually you're going to end up selling it in a yard sale, giving it away.
never.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, never. Us board gamers, we think of yard selling a game, and that we think that's just blasphemy. We never do that with our board games. That's just unheard
Mm-mm.
of. But for those, we're gearing this more towards those that are listening that are maybe don't know much about the board game world. Maybe
Mhm.
you've maybe played like a Settlers of Catan, or maybe played a little bit of some I don't know, maybe like those gateway games, maybe a little bit of Citadels or some other not heavy as board games, but not like lighter games where like a Monopoly or Clue or Guess Who. This is you're trying to make the next step into another board game, and you saw Flamecraft in the store, and you're thinking, "What's this game about?" And we're trying to save you, the hassle of if you see this pretty box and you end up buying it, and then you open it and you're like, don't know what to do with it, and you end up not playing it. So that's kind of the purpose of Top Shelf and Yard Sale, to
Love
maybe
it.
save you a little bit. But most of these games, they're going to be top shelves for you guys. You guys should go check these games out anyway. Even if you're not intending to buying it, find someone that has this game and go play it. Go
Mm-hmm.
check it out. Go to your local board game store and ask for this game and ask if anyone is willing to teach it, and just go ahead and play it. Us board gamers, we're always happy to teach a game to new
Yes.
gamers, and always happy to just share the memories and fun, because that's what I love about board gaming is just the memories and the socialization with friends and family, and just making some fun memories. And maybe we hate each other towards the end of the game because you stole our points, but that's the fun of it. That's the great fun of it, and stuff like that. And so I'm very excited about Flamecraft here. So we've developed 8 questions here. Again, Amanda, like I said, these questions could always be changing. They're always evolving into different questions. But I'm very excited. And in order for it to meet a top shelf requirement, it has to meet at least 6 of the 8 questions here. And so, what I was gonna do with this episode here, with these kind of actually these segments, I like to make the guest kind of drive it. So you're gonna be
Okay.
the final decider of the question. I'll give my opinions, and what I think it should be or shouldn't be, but ultimately you're going to be the final decision here to decide if it is a top shelf or yard
Okay.
sale game. So, with further ado, let's get started with Flamecraft. Is it a
Ready.
top shelf or a yard sale game? So, we'll go ahead and get started with the first question here is this game an easy game to learn or to teach? Is it a game that you take out of the box, you look at the rules, and are you able to understand what we're going to do, what your turn order is, what the purpose of the game is? Or is this a game where you kind of need like an English degree so you can be able to understand the massive booklet or stuff like that of the game? So Amanda, what are we going with? Is this game an easy game to learn and to teach? What do you think?
I would say yes, it is. Like I said, I played it this morning with Mailman Gary. He had never played it before, even though it is one of my favorites, and I talk about it a lot on my channel. And anytime anybody mentions it, I'm like,
Yes.
so I did. I did bring my props. This is the rule book.
Okay.
It is 19 pages long. It is full color, but a lot of big pictures. So we can kind of show it here. Not a lot of words. And basically, there are 2 actions you can do each turn. You either visit a shop and gather resources, or you cast an enchantment. So those are really the only 2 things that you do in the entire game. Now, there are different, like I said, shops. There's a couple of different types of dragons, and there's different resources you have to gather to cast the enchantments. But really, at 5 minutes or less, you can lay it all out, set it up, and teach it. I would say it is definitely easy to teach in under 10 minutes. And again, you only have 2 real decisions to make. It's going to be, are you going to gather resources, or are you going to cast an enchantment? At the very beginning of the game, you can't cast an enchantment because you don't have any resources.
Right.
So, yeah. So I would say
Okay.
it is definitely easy to learn
Yes.
and teach.
Okay. And then I quickly forgot, but if you want to give like a quick, maybe like a 10-minute spiel of what is Flamecraft actually, like.
Oh,
for those
sure.
listening, what is Flamecraft? I mean, you kind of gave it a little bit with the
Yeah.
teach, but if you want to go a little bit deeper into it, of what is this game before we get to the next question here, for those that are listening, they're thinking, yeah, I'm interested, but I don't know what this game is. So yeah, Amanda, go ahead, take it away with what is Flamecraft?
Yeah, so in Flamecraft, you are a flame keeper, which is somebody who has the skill of conversing with talented dragons. And these dragons have skills. They are bakers, they are gem hoarders, they are witches and pizza makers and bread bakers. And all of these things. There's different specializations. There's 6 of them. There's bread, meat, iron, crystal, plants, and potions. So there's different dragons that do different things. And you, as the flame keeper, are deciding which shop in town is going to be ideal for which dragon. And the different dragons are placed in the different shops, and that's how you gather the resources based on where they're located. So you're going to gather these resources, the 6 different specializations that I mentioned, and then you will cast enchantments. And the enchantments are, like I said, it's like a contract fulfillment game.
And obviously, the point of the game is to have the most points,
Have the most points,
most
yes.
points, and then you
The
become
best reputation
best
is
reputation. So yeah, best
yes.
reputation. You're the most renowned,
Flame
artisan,
keeper, yep.
flame keeper of the whole town, and everyone bows down before your superiority and your
Yes.
greatness. And you've tamed these dragons to bid to your will, and you've made them
Yep.
become the best, yeah, flame crafter. So there you have it. There you have that's a fun 1 to 5 player game. There is like a solo mode,
Does
which is
have a
pretty
solo
cool.
mode. Yep.
And for those that are fancy more solo player games. But go check it out, guys. If you're interested in that, go check it out. Let us know your thoughts on that. But yeah, so we went with the first is a yes. So yes, it is an easy game to teach and to learn. And I agree with you. I was going through the rules today as well, going flipping the book, and it's pretty self-explanatory. You don't have like an intense like on your turn you do A B C D, and then after you do C, you
Right.
got it's just a quick you do this or you do this, and then you move on to the next question, next turn, and then yeah, you just keep going. So
Just
let's go
real
with the
quick,
next.
sorry,
Yes,
I don't
go
want
ahead. Yes,
to, but
no,
there
go
is
ahead.
a really great player aid included as well.
There you
Basically,
go.
it shows you here's your 2 choices each round: gather
Gather
and
and
enchant, and then
chant.
you just go down the list. You do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, and then it tells you,
End of turn.
basically everything you
Hmm.
can. On the back side, it shows all the dragons and their specialties,
Hmm.
and so it's just all of this, the whole game, right here on
Hmm.
this little card.
There you go. Yeah, and there you have it. You don't need the booklet. Just look at the book. Just look at
Yep.
the thing. No, obviously, you need the booklet to like dive deep into like
Right.
what each turn is, but you have that player aid. I love games that give you like those good player aids that can
Hmm.
guide you throughout the game, because then it keeps other players being like, what do I do again? What do I do? It's like you should look at your player aid. You just gotta look at there, and you can. There you go.
Player aids are the best.
Yes, they are. They very are. Which kind of brings me to actually kind of segues into our second and third question here.
Hmm.
To not confuse what question number 2 and number 3 are, I split them up. The second question is, does this game have good game components?
Hmm.
And the third question is, does this game have good game design? And so they can kind of mesh together. But when I talk about like
Right.
game components, is like, how are the tokens? How are
Right.
the
Yep.
resources? How are they nice, or is it just like a cardboard cutout punch out that you
Mhm.
punch out? Which nothing wrong with those, but for me personally, those kind of get like kind of boring a little bit when they're just cutouts and stuff. I know there's like a wooden resources you can get,
Mhm.
which is
Yep.
pretty cool. But if we're just looking at like base game, do you think this game is gonna pop out when it comes to those components? We're not looking. Obviously, Forgotten Realms are like famously known for like their amazing miniature components and stuff that you can have. So obviously, not every game could be a Forgotten Realms game, but
Right.
how are these components in your eyes? Do you think, Amanda? Do you think it's like something to be wowed out, or is it just like, they're just
Mhm.
something that you can kind of pass by?
Yeah, absolutely. So every game, retail and deluxe, has a neoprene mat, which I
Hmm.
really love, instead of just a cardboard board game.
Hmm.
I did
Hmm.
bring it. It's
Yep.
super cute. And
Yes.
there's something to be said definitely for the artwork. That is a
Hmm.
huge, in my eyes, a huge part of the components.
Hmm.
And we could talk more about that, as design and stuff and theme. But the
Right.
artwork by Sandara Tang is phenomenal. It is the
Hmm. Hmm.
cutest. The little dragons, each one has its own little personality,
Hmm.
and just the little like little kind of Easter egg type things that are
Hmm.
in their pictures and their characters is just phenomenal. But the cards are really nice, like linen finish, so real sturdy. This is one of the shop cards,
Hmm.
so it's a tarot size card.
Nice.
And then the dragons also they're a little bit smaller,
Hmm.
but they got great names. They're adorable. They also
Hmm.
have that nice linen finish.
Hmm.
This one does have the retail version does come with the cardboard components for
Hmm.
resources, but I say they punch very well. Um, they're a good size. They're not too big, not too small. And then the base retail version does come with really adorable wooden dragon meeples and
Hmm.
also wooden um, point markers. That's what the little
Yeah.
hearts are. So the dragon
Hmm.
is your little meeple to move about the shops, and then the heart tracks your score.
Okay.
So I would say yes, the components are great
Okay.
for the base model. The deluxe as you mentioned, is where it really shines. They do have some mini figurines, which are
Oh,
adorable.
nice. Yeah.
Yeah, they're super cute, and I just can't bring myself to open them yet and actually play with them. But
Okay.
I
Okay.
know they're. If you look on Cardboard Alchemy's Facebook page, they have people that have painted the dragons,
Dragons?
and some people just are phenomenal
They're going
with
crazy.
their minifig painting skills.
Okay.
And then there are wooden resource tokens available, as well as metal coins that you can also get. But I would say that the base version, just sitting on the shelf, this screams cute, and I think the components are fantastic.
Okay. So we'll go with yes on the components. I agree with you. I'm not a big fan of like the resource components as the base game, because they kind of seem a little bland. But I like the design of them; they're pretty nice.
Mhm,
But like I said, you said there's options so you can get like the metal coins and like
mhm.
the wooden resources, which adds a little bit more of like it makes it more eye pleasing,
A
for
little bit
sure.
more flair,
Um,
yeah.
I think what would make it me lean towards more of a yes is just the player mat. That the
Hmm.
board map I think is awesome because they give you that
It's
it's like
huge too,
yeah, it's huge and it
and it
rolls
fits in the box.
and it fits in the box. Yes, it rolls up nicely. And for those that are like listening or wondering, like, hey, what are you talking about? That are listening through Spotify or Apple. The player mat is or the player the game mat is like kind of think of like the same like material of like a mouse pad that you would have on your
Yep,
computer. That
yep,
same material, and it's a nice and like it's flexible. You can roll it up
yep.
and
Roll
you
it
have
right
it
up.
the whole time. Yep. And so it's not your typical cardboard box that you like it folds up or anything. This is you just roll it up into like a little I don't know, like a little I don't know the analogy of
Scroll.
it, but you scroll, yeah, like a scroll. There you go, scroll. I was thinking like a cigarette. I'm like, I'm bad. I'm horrible. Like a cigarette or like something like a burrito or something like that.
A burrito.
Yeah,
Yes.
burrito. There you go. Or like a scroll. I like the fantasy there. Yeah, I think that's what kind of hit home towards like, yes, that's more of more yes on the components because
Yes.
yeah the player I keep saying player mat the game mat is
Yes.
very nice, very beautiful.
Hmm.
Which you kind of now alluded to. The third question was the game design, the
Hmm.
artwork. Yeah, I think the artwork is beautiful. You kind of
Hmm.
you can elaborate more on that as well. But the dragons look very cute. They're very nice, very well designed, and very thematic. And like you see, there's some Easter eggs on there. I think, and even some of like the wording is very like punny. Like you said, like the
Yes.
very funny
Yes.
ones.
Very punny.
Uh-huh. But if you want to, yeah, I'm pretty sure you're going with a yes on the game design. But if you want to talk a little bit more of the game design,
Yeah.
go ahead. Yeah, go ahead
So,
if you
in
like.
thinking to answer that question, I thought about a couple of different factors as far
Okay.
as game design, mechanics, the balance of the game, player engagement, and just
Hmm.
overall enjoyment. I thought those were
Hmm.
kind of the key factors that you would want to consider
Hmm.
for this question. So,
Hmm.
as far as mechanics, again, it's a set collection, contract fulfillment game with just two actions to choose from. So, while it seems very basic with just those two things, you can create some really stellar combos
Mm.
based on the dragons that you choose and where you place them on the board. So you can really stack some points. I know I did this morning when I was playing, and my
Mm.
very last turn, I was able to. I think I was about 8 or so points behind, and I was able to come up, and I only lost by 2 instead of 8.
Oh
So
wow.
so
Okay.
it was a close game, but
Yeah, yeah.
so talking about balance, does everybody have a fair chance to win? Is there anything that really throws the game off? Is there one
Mm-hmm.
card that's going to be like, "Oh, you got that one, you're going to win." I
Mm-hmm.
really haven't found that
Mm-hmm.
in this game at all. So I do appreciate that.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody starts with no resources,
Yeah.
so there's no tipping the scales. There is the opportunity to add companions, which do kind of give everybody an advantage. I don't typically play with the companions,
Mm-hmm.
but it is an option.
Option.
And again, none of those are like super unbalanced. We're like, oh, you choose that one, and I don't have a chance now. So I
Mm-hmm.
appreciate
Mm-hmm.
that. And then engagement. Are people, are they involved? Are they interested? I think that's probably one of the biggest things. And the artwork. would definitely be one of the most engaging features of the game.
Yeah.
The artwork and the puns. I mean,
Mhm.
we've got the iron dragon named Wingnut and the plant dragon named Herb or Herb. And the potion one is lavender, and Loaf, the bread
Mhm.
guy, is baking a loaf of bread. So the engagement, I think, just looking at the cards and seeing the artwork and the names like that alone, and the shops, they are also kind of punny. Like we've got Gnome Depot.
I love it.
And oh my gourd is the vegetable plant stand. And of course, I have to show this scale mail post, which is the little
Oh,
this,
that's so awesome.
and then Nunya's beeswax.
Nanya's beeswax.
Just
That's
these
a good.
cards, the names and the artwork. I think that alone really
Mhm,
keeps everybody engaged and just delighted. You look at them and they're cute and they're
mhm,
funny, and
mhm,
you pull
mhm.
each one out. You're like, oh my gosh, look at this one. Oh, look at his name. Look at this.
Yeah. No, I agree. Yeah, I love the design. I was going through the shops and I was like, oh, this is so funny. This is so hilarious. The gnome, yeah, it was just funny. And when I was playing with some friends, we were just laughing at the puns
Hmm.
of the game, and we're just like, oh,
Yeah.
that's so funny and stuff like that. But yeah, so I say to say that yes on the game design.
Yes.
Yeah, definitely yes on the game design. You hit a little bit on like engagement and player engagement, which is kind of
Mhm.
the last question. So we'll dive more into that towards the end of that.
Okay.
The next
Sorry.
the next no, you're good. I love it. I love it. Please spill it all. Spill it. I love it all. I love it all. We gotta cover all our bases here. I love it.
Mhm.
The next question here is does this game have good replayability? Is this a game that you can come back to, and it'll be obviously maybe the whole main theming of the game will be the same, but
Mhm.
will you have different? Will it not play as the same as you did like last round or last session you played it? Will be different.
Right.
Um, I know that with the shops, there's the replayability there when it comes to you'll have different shops
Mhm.
each turn because you're always shuffling different types of shops. You
Right.
always have your basic starter shops for sure,
Right.
but when you're adding different shops, it can kind of give a little bit sense of different replayability. I don't know. What do you think about it? Do you think this is a game that won't get stale quickly if you play a couple sessions of it, or is it a game that maybe yeah, if you do a couple sessions, it'll kind of be repetitive a little bit, and you might be like, it's been the same. Maybe I have to put a pause on this game and play something else
Mhm.
before I can make it fresh again. What do you
Sure.
think?
I haven't found that. Like you had mentioned, there are 34 different shops, and you only play potentially with up to 12 each game.
Mhm.
There's 6 starter shops that you'll play every game with. Um, but you actually, once you get more familiar with the game, you don't even have to use those 6 starter shops. You can just bypass those and pick, other ones. So I say
Mhm.
with the 34 different shop options, there's 42 different artisan dragons. And while the 6 different dragon specialties, each color does the same effect. There are also, I believe it's like 30, I want to say 36 or 38 fancy dragons, which give you
Mhm.
those different scoring abilities and end
Mhm.
game scoring. So I think it definitely has a lot of replayability. And the solo mode has once you it has that like tier system where if you get because it's a points based game. So
Right.
if you play solo, 0 to 40 is something, 40 to 60, and like 70 plus is like you're the master flame creep keeper.
Yeah.
And once you hit that master, there's 11 different achievements that you can unlock.
Mhm.
So the solo mode, I would say, definitely has the most replayability out of all of it.
Okay. Oh, really?
Mhm.
Interesting.
Yeah.
That interesting. Yeah, that's very rare when you have like a solo mode that's like the most replayability.
Mhm.
So for all you solo player gamers, this is a perfect game for you to play. That's a good one. So yeah, we'll go with the yes on replayability. I think yeah, I was when I was going over the setups and stuff like that of the game. I feel like yeah, that game. You can have a couple sessions, multiple sessions where it'll be fresh, it'll be new.
Mhm.
Again, with most board games, like obviously the main objective is always the same. turn order will always change. It's not nothing's gonna change, but the way you're presented with the game, the starting up of the game, it could be different. It could be fresh. Maybe your
Hmm.
tactics change each session you play.
Yeah.
Um, I always compare my replayability standard to like Betrayal, House on the Hill, where you can always play
Hmm.
that game and you always get a different scenario every single time you
Yes.
play. And so it's like how does it scale up there? I think Flamecraft is a good one to play fresh, keep it fresh, and not a game where you pull it out and you're like, we're gonna play this again. Okay, whatever. I think it'll be a good one to do for that. Which goes on to our next question here. You kind of alluded to it as well in the beginning. Is setup time? How is this
Hmm.
game when it comes to setup time? Is it gonna take you a minute to set it up? Is it a game that you can kind of take it out and be like, hold on, guys, let me just set this up real quick and we'll play it? Or is it a game where it's like, hold on, before you guys come over, let me set this game up and then we'll have it ready, because it's gonna take you a while. I know there's a couple of those games that I have on my shelf that, yeah, it's gonna be like, if we're gonna play this game, just give me like a good
I
hour to
need
set it up
I
before you
need
come
a
over.
day's notice.
Yeah, I need days notice exactly before we can come over, and let me know what team you want to be so I can set that up for you as well.
Yeah.
I'm looking at you, Twilight Imperium. You take forever. But what I do also with these games, if I own the game, I like to time myself as well,
Okay.
so we can kind of get a gist. I did a time study on that one, and I came up to about like 10 minutes. 10 minutes to
Yeah.
just set it up. I set up for like a 5-player game.
Oh wow. Okay.
And I did it where I started from the top beginning where like you take the game, you're taking it out of the box, you're pulling out
Okay.
all the components, you're looking at. I did as the eyes of like this is my first time ever
Your
playing this
first
game.
time opening the box. Yeah, for
Yeah, first
sure.
time opening the box. I looked at the rules. I looked at the setup and just followed step by step of how to set it up.
Hmm. Okay.
And all that took me, yeah, about like 10 minutes
Yeah,
and like 20
that's
seconds, something like that.
about what I would say.
And to me, that's a phenomenal setup time.
Yeah,
That's a great
that's
setup time.
great.
That's nothing compared to these other heavier games, or even maybe some medium games that kind of take a while. But I'll let you decide. Do you think maybe 10 minutes is too much, or maybe it's too little? What do you
No,
think?
I think it's perfect. 10 minutes is solid, and while you're setting it up, it's easy enough to explain while you're setting it up.
Hmm.
These are the artisan dragons. These are the fancy dragons. Here's the different shops. Bing bang boom. Here's the coins.
Yeah.
Here's the resources, and even the game itself came with enough little baggies for each
Hmm.
resource to be kept separate. So that definitely
Hmm.
helps with your setup time. Keeping everything separate. The hardest part is going through the shops, and you
Hmm.
take basically one of each specialty. You kind of randomize them, so you gotta um, and that's the way I put it away. So you put all of the plant ones together, all of the
Yeah.
gem ones together, and then when you pull it out, you shuffle it and you take one, and you shuffle it and you take
Yeah.
one. So
Hmm.
the way I put it away, I plan for the next time I pull it
Future.
out.
Yeah. Smart.
But
Very smart.
yeah, so I would say, yeah, 10 minutes is a bomb setup time.
Oh,
I'll
for
take a
sure.
10 minute game anytime.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, 10 minutes setup time anytime, and I always get, yeah. If it's a game that I can like have friends over and like, hey, you want to play some Flamecraft? Yeah, let me take it out.
Yeah.
Then and you can do it. Then that's perfect time. If it's a game where it's heavy, where it's like, give me like 30 minutes real quick, you're gonna lose interest from your friends. They'll be like,
Hmm.
maybe we should just watch a movie instead. You're like, okay, fine,
Yeah.
you know.
Exactly.
But yeah, great setup time. Yes, for sure. We have 5 yeses so far, so I feel like this is gonna be a great top shelf game for sure. We literally need just if we get a yes on the next question, we're already set. We already
We're
passed it.
done.
But let's go. Let's carry on. Let's see if we can get 8 for 8. Let's see if we can do 8 for 8 here. Next question is this game decently priced or will it break your wallet? Is this a game where you might think twice when you go to the board game shop and be like, "Ooh, the price. I might
Hmm.
have to maybe come back or save up some time, or maybe it's not worth it. Maybe I'd rather just borrow it from a friend." Do you think it's it's a game that you can buy it, go to the store, not even worry about it, or is it a game where, yeah, it's like, ugh, what am I paying for? When I say decently priced, my range of decently priced games, you might have a different range. I think a good, decently priced game that you can get a good money's worth would be like maybe a game that's like $30, $35 to like
Hmm. Yes.
maybe $80, 70, $80 range as I think is a good price where it's like I'm not like hesitant to buy it. Um,
Right.
Even though I am still I'm getting a little bit. The only reason I'm hesitant to buy it is like I don't have room for it. I'm just
Yeah.
like "Ugh, I don't know if I should buy it because I don't know where I'm gonna put it. But I'd buy it anytime. But yeah, I think 30, 35 to like 70, $80 range is a good one. I think if we're going to 90, 100, 120 range, where I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
like okay, what am I? Maybe I have to save up and maybe think twice about this game. I did a little bit of research on that one. I looked at like Walmart. Walmart was selling it for like $40, like 39.99.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, Amazon was like $63, so we're still in that range. Um,
Target
that
currently has it for 33.99.
Target. Okay, there you go,
Yep,
Target.
Target's a really great way to get games. I don't know if you know, some people kind of poo poo like, oh, you got to go to a local game store, but a lot of
Hmm.
people don't have that option because they
Yeah.
aren't, you know, as readily available and
Yeah.
popular
Hmm.
as they should be. Every small
Yep.
town and every town should have a local game store.
They should. Yes.
But Target, and they often run buy one, get one half off or buy two, get one free sales. So
Yeah.
Target is a really great option for purchasing board games.
Oh, nice. Okay. Nah, Target.
So
And
shout out
that's
to
rare too.
Target.
Yeah. It's funny
I,
because yeah, Walmart's 39 and Target's 33. Usually it's the other way around. Walmart's usually
mhm.
sometimes the cheaper option, but Target.
I
Okay.
know that is the standard edition. I believe to get upgraded components, you can get them straight from Cardboard Alchemy. They have the dragons, the wooden resources, and the metal coins in a bundle for $57. So it's getting the
Oh.
bait. And the deluxe version is available. I would say it's in the $80 to $100 range. So
Okay.
you can, you know, get those components if you decide to upgrade it after
Mhm.
you decide that it is a top shelf game.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. There it is. Um, yeah, I mean, based on yeah, Target, Walmart, Amazon, even like yeah, the Amazon pricing, you're still in that range of decently priced
Hmm.
for me.
Yeah.
But yeah, Target, honestly, you can go to Target, get yourself for $33, get yourself a Flamecraft game, and it's amazing. You won't be disappointed. So I would say yes. I don't know. You might agree with yeah, it's a
Hmm.
decently priced game
Yeah,
for sure to get.
definitely.
And you can always save up and get the deluxe components as well to
Hmm.
spruce up your game as well. Um, but yeah, if you just want the standard game, $33. Can't beat that. That's
Right.
a lot cheaper than some of these heavier games that we own that were just like,
Yeah.
you know, when they ask you how much you pay for it, you're like, next question. You know, yeah, it's like, I'd rather not talk about that. So, yeah, decently priced. Yes, definitely priced. So we're six. It's already a top shelf game, but let's keep going on. Let's make this the ultimate top shelf game. Um,
Yes.
which is the next question is: does this game have good game lore? Is this a game that you can immerse yourself in? Is this a world that you can, you know, just get involved in and just like enjoy, or is this a game where you're just like you're just this guy and just do this and that's it, and like there's nothing much. It's like the lore's subjected to like a little tiny paragraph on the rules section. What do you think, Amanda? Do you think it's a game that you can immerse yourself in with the lore and the background of it?
It is the most adorable lore. You are a flame keeper. You're talking to dragons, trying to get them to do different things, you know, be bread makers and mulch the lawn mower guy. I think that the lore is adorable. Yes.
Okay.
It's a great story. You're moving, you know, you're going to different shops and gathering your resources to create enchantments, you know, to just make your town the best and your dragons.
Nice. Yeah,
It's
I think the lore is it's a cute little
cute.
lore of like
Hmm.
yeah, I think it's a very cute lore. It's not like a big, you know, you have a separate booklet of the whole story of like
Right.
what's going on, but I think it's enough to get you involved into like you're a flame crafter and you have the
Hmm.
ability to use the help of dragons to help you out with to bring up this art and stuff that you're trying to build and stuff, and I think I think it immerses you a lot with it. Um, I mean, I enjoyed it. I thought it was pretty cool.
Hmm.
But so good game lord, yes, on that one. And so now we're gonna end round off this questionnaire with the last question here. We're 7 for 8 right now, so let's see if we can get this 8 and 8. Does this game have good turn pacing, turn order? Is this a game that let's say we're playing with the player count of 5? And is this a game where it'll kind of you can kind of go around? No, you got the dogs. No worries. If this is a game that you can, yeah, like I said, is this a game where like if I'm the fifth player, am I is the turn pacing a little bit slow where I'm gonna end up kind of pulling out my phone, kind of being on my phone waiting for my turn, or is this a game where that will kind of keep you engaged on other players' turns to figure out what's going to happen? Or yeah, is it slightly one of those games where it's like, yeah, nothing wrong with waiting around for turns, but if you're waiting around for too long, you might have the tendency like, oh, let me just pull out my phone real quick and just go on
Hmm.
Facebook just to scroll around, see what's going
No.
on. Or is this game where like there's no phones are not needed because you're gonna be engaged for sure on this board game. What do you think, Amanda, on this one?
Yeah, I think this one definitely is very engaging. With the dragons and the different shops, you're going to be paying attention to where the other players are putting their dragons. They
Hmm.
may put it where you were, thinking about putting yours. The really great thing about moving to the different shops when you're gathering the resources or creating enchantment, if somebody is already in the shop that you are in, you can still go there. You just pay that person one resource.
Hmm.
So it's not what do they call it, like a closed
Hmm.
system where once
Yeah.
somebody's there, you can't go there. So
Hmm.
being the fifth player in that scenario would be awful because you'd have
Yeah.
be very limited to the chance, you would get to the shop that you wanted.
Hmm.
But with the six starter shops, anybody can go to any shop. Um, and you're watching because only certain dragons with certain specialties can go into certain shops, but then the abilities that the dragons have, you can sometimes move them around and rearrange them.
Hmm.
So I think you're definitely going to be paying attention. And again, the artwork and the punny names and the punny
Hmm.
shops, that alone is enough to keep you engaged because you're like, oh, look at what this one says, and look at this little dragon's reading a book. And
Hmm.
so I
Yeah.
think it's definitely very engaging, and it's not something you're going to want to, you know, pull out your phone because it's boring. And the turns are pretty tight because, like I said, there's two options. You either go to a store, go to a shop, and gather some resources, and it's
Hmm.
basically bang, bang, bang.
Yep.
Do this thing, or
Hmm.
you're casting an enchantment, and you're like, okay, I'm paying these resources, I'm doing this enchantment, and I might have a couple of extra things to do along with it. So it's pretty
Yeah.
fast paced. I would
Hmm.
say it says under an hour on the box, and I would think I'm pretty sure that this morning when we played, it was definitely under an hour, just the two of us. So
Hmm. Hmm. Definitely. No, yeah, I agree. I do agree with the turn order. Turn order is that yeah, you only have to do two things. You choose one, and you can't like do both. You choose either
right,
do this or you do that, and
yep,
then that's it. You can't be like, oh, I want like you can't combine. You gotta choose whatever, and then when you do this, just follow the steps, and then you're done.
yep,
Next person. So it's not a game. Yeah, I feel like where I think I played with five players, like a full game with five, and yeah,
hmm,
we were all pretty engaged. None of us had the phones out,
yeah,
and we were all just kind of uh, figure out. Obviously, it was our first time playing, so we're trying to like figure out the
hmm,
game,
yeah,
but we're still engaged with like, okay, what are we doing on this turn? Okay, we do this and this. Okay, what am I gonna do next? Where am I going? Which store am I gonna go next? Okay, I want to go there, but so and so's there, and I gotta pay a resource to them. Okay, I'm willing to pay it. It's okay because I really need this to build, to accomplish this milestone that I want to choose. So
yep,
yeah, I would agree. Yeah, it's not a game where it's a phone taker out game where you're waiting out, you're waiting it out for your turn, and then you forget what you do on your turn. So yeah, I would agree. Yeah, I agree with you. It is a game that keeps you engaged. Um, and with that being said, we're 8 for 8. We made this game a top shelf game. You brought it, Amanda. You brought it. You were the advocated. Yeah, there you go. Flamecraft, guys. So yeah, counting it at 8 for 8, guys, making Flamecraft a top shelf game. All right, yes, there it is on the top shelf for sure. I love it. It's a fun game, guys. I agree with Amanda. It's a fun game, a cute game. I mean, you can get everyone involved in this game. This is not a game where if you have kids, you might not show them this game because of certain aspects or like it's a little too hard, complicated. This game's very easy to pick up.
hmm,
I believe kids will love it, especially with the artwork. They'll love the artwork as well.
yes,
And then for us avid board gamers, it's a fun game to play, relaxing game to enjoy, but also can be very competitive as well because you're trying to get the most reputation, so you're trying to get the most out of that and building your synergy and stuff like that. I think it's beautiful. Um, I agree. It's a great top shelf game. I have it on my top shelf as well. For those of you listening that maybe the pricing might be a little bit too much for you guys, go check it out in your local board game store for sure, or have a friend that has it. Go check it out. check out the game, and then if you enjoy it, go get yourself a copy of the game. I can leave a link below where you can get the copies of the game, and check it out as well. Is it on BGA, Amanda? Do you know? Would you know if
It is
the game?
not. No.
It's not on BGA. BGA, get it on there. There you go.
I know.
They should get it on there, or you can check it out on Tabletop Simulator. I believe it's on Tabletop Simulator.
Yes.
Give it a whirl if you're into that as well. But any closing remarks for the game, Amanda? You want to let the listeners know about the game here?
Top shelf. Top shelf all day.
Top shelf all day for sure. Yes, it is a top shelf game. Check it out, guys. It's a fun game. As we're rounding off this podcast here, Amanda, I just want to thank you so much for coming and joining us here on our humble side of the podcast here. Very, very, very enjoyed our time talking here. Loved your enthusiasm for Flamecraft. It's such a fun game. love your enthusiasm. Just your enthusiasm in general for the board game community. It's so much awesome. I love you. Bring so much. You bring so much joy. You bring so much joy. I love it so much. Anything you want to plug in? Obviously, we mentioned your podcast and your Instagram channel. If you want to let the viewers know again one more time about your podcast and about your channel as well, go ahead and give that plug in if you'd like.
Sure. So again, I'm Amanda Lee Anderson. You can find me at Empty Nest Board Mama on the gram. And then I also have my podcast that I just launched. So it'll be episode number 4 this Saturday. And that is Have a Seat with Amanda Lee. And it is available on all podcast outlets, Apple, Spotify, iHeart. And then you can watch the video like this on YouTube or listen to the podcast on YouTube as well.
Awesome. Yeah. So go give her a follow, guys. So I'll leave a link below as well for your Instagram and your podcast. Subscribe, like, comment. Let them know I sent you. Let them know that, hey, Vic sent me over here and I love your stuff. Let her know how much you love her content. Very excited to have you on more, Amanda. I'd love to have you on as well for more episodes.
Anytime.
I'd love to have you. I'd love to do a collab with you and the guys over at Operation Game Night. That'd be
yes,
such fun. It'd be good roundtable to do. They're great guys. I love those guys. They're so much. They're so awesome. I just finished playing Lost Ruins of Arnak with them on BGA. It took us 3 months to finish though. It was a while. Jared's like, this is the longest game I've ever played in my career. I'm like, it is, bro. I'm sorry. I always get forgetful when it comes to BGA, which is kind of like the downsides of turn-based games where you can take your time. I always forget. I'm like, but I promise I'll get to it. I keep forgetting. But it was fun playing with them. We got to get some games running as well on BGA.
Let's go to Japan. We could play. I played that with the Operation Game Night guys. We just played Japan. It is on BGA. If you want to play, I'll definitely play Let's Go to Japan with you.
Send the invite. I'll start playing. I'll start playing for sure. Definitely. But Amanda, I just want to say thank you again so much. Thank you so much for joining us, guys. For those of you listening that stuck with us so far, thank you so much for following us and listening to us. Let us know in the comments below. Is this game a top shelf game for you, or is it a yard sale game for you? And let us know. If you say yard sale, you're kind of wrong, but it's whatever. But just let us know. Let us know what you like, and also let us know if there's any other games you'd like us to do a top shelf yard sale. I'm pretty sure I'd love to discover new games and figure out if it is a top shelf yard sale, and have some more guests like Amanda on here with us to talk about more board gaming. So yeah. With all that being said, guys, thank you guys so much. Y nos vemos a la próxima.